Hello beautiful people, Nosipho and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another foundation fever video and I'm going to be reviewing this Clarins Everlasting foundation, and basically this foundation was sent to me in a PR package, but I want you guys to rest assured that every time I get products, whether I receive them from a brand or I buy them myself, my opinions are always honest, because I'm a student just like a lot of you guys are, or just living on a budget just like a lot of you guys are. So I'm never gonna convince you to buy something, even if it's sponsored or promoted, that is trash. So I will always be honest with you guys. So even though this was sent to me, this is going to be a very honest review. Okay, so that's the foundation, and you guys can see it comes in a frosted glass bottle with a beautiful golden lid, and thank the makeup gods that this foundation comes with a pump. You guys already saw in my first and only foundation fever video review, which is the Estee Lauder double wear foundation that didn't come with a pump, that I wasn't very impressed because that's just inconvenient for usage purposes. So I'm very happy that this foundation comes with a pump. This is supposed to be a medium to buildable foundation that's supposed to last 18 hours, and the finish is supposed to be semi-matte to a matte finish, and this is because of a new ingredient that they added to the foundation, which is bamboo. I'm not too sure about the chemistry behind that, but I'm assuming that bamboo has some sort of mattifying property, so that's like the key ingredient in their product to make it last for 18 hours. Also, this foundation comes in 17 shades, and you guys are going to see when I go through the video, because I've already used the foundation before in a previous video actually that I posted recently, that it wasn't a perfect match to my skin. I still think it's not a perfect match to my skin because I think the undertone just isn't so great for me, but at the same time, when you blend out the foundation on your face, it starts to match with your skin over time. So I guess it's a very adjustable foundation, like it adjusts to your skin color. But also I would have liked a more shade range, because I think I tried out 3 shades in store. So I think what would work for me would be, I would need to maybe buy 2 foundations, mix them together to get a perfect undertone and also a perfect shade match for my skin. I'm not too bothered with the mismatch with my skin tone. That's a lot of foundations as well, especially with 17 shades to choose from. That's not a very wide shade selection range. So I'm looking forward to Clarins coming up with some darker, deeper shades and just some more in between shades with better undertones. So if you want to buy this foundation, just make sure that when you get matched in store, you get a very good match to your skin tone, because that's going to be very helpful overall. Well, obviously helpful because you're trying to get flawless looking skin and not a cast on your face and what's going on the neck. So to prime my face, I'm going to use the Clarins Fix Makeup because I actually genuinely like the spray. I've been using it for a while now, I suppose a while being since I received it from Clarins about a month ago, and it smells like roses. It smells absolutely amazing, and it also is very refreshing and hydrating on the skin. Maybe it's because it smells like roses, but I really actually genuinely like this fixing spray, and I just figured, you know, to use a Clarins product to prime my face, because I don't have a Clarins primer, just so that we keep it like congruent with the products, in case you want to, like, you're one of those one brand kind of people, like, you know, the people that want to use one brand from start to finish. So I set my face with that, or rather prepped my face with that, and then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of powder, because I also want to give the foundation a fair chance. So I'm gonna stick to my routine, how I usually do my routine, so you know I don't get trippy with the products, because I actually just didn't use it how I usually do my makeup. So I'm just gonna take some of my Yardley Loose powder and I'm just gonna pat that into my skin, because I believe that I've got biggish pores, especially around my T-zone area and nose area. So I like to apply some powder, which is like a little bit of a trick, I guess, that I learned on YouTube, where that basically fills in your pores before you put on your makeup. So I'm also going to be using these beautiful brushes that I received from Switch Beauty in my video, just to test them out as well, you know, like a first impressions of, well, not first impressions of the foundation, but like a first impressions vibe. So we basically get a feel of the brushes and also get a feel of the foundation as we go along. So this is like a beautiful tulip brush that I love to use to apply powder on my face. I think it might be like a blush brush, but you know, I just make whatever work for me. So whether it's a blush brush or contour brush, I'm using it to apply my powder, okay? Next, to blend in my foundation or apply the foundation on my face, I'm going to use this other Switch Beauty brush, which is like an almost flat top brush, but it's got like a little bit of an angle or a curve to it. So I think it might be a contour brush, but I used it to blend out my foundation the other day and I think it worked really well. So we're going to be using that to blend the foundation. So I'm just going to pump some of this on my face, directly on my face from the container. And I'm going to be using a lot of the foundation so you guys can see the buildable quality of the foundation, if it is buildable. If it's not, this is actually quite a lot of foundation. You guys are going to see when I blend it out. So as you guys can see, the foundation has quite yellowy, orangey undertones, and obviously this is enhanced by my ring light. But you guys are going to see as it blends on the skin, it really actually does match with your skin. I really don't know what it is and I don't know how it works, but it basically just looks better when it's blended out than it does when, you know, you're in the process of blending out your foundation. And just a side note about this brush is extremely soft. Like, the bristles are ridiculously soft, which I really like, because, you know, you're not trying to scratch your face when you're doing your makeup. You really are just trying to blend in your foundation. So it's really nice to have a brush that is so soft and so gentle on the skin. And in terms of the blending quality of the brush, I really feel like this brush actually blends in foundation really well. I always go in with a beauty blender after with foundation just to make sure that it's not streaky, because a lot of brushes can leave you looking streaky with your foundation, so it has like foundation lines. So here I was just showing you guys how dense the brush is, how the bristles are very closely packed together, and this adds to the reason why it doesn't leave streaks on your face when you use it to blend out your foundation. Okay, now that I've zoomed you guys in and we have the foundation well blended on the face, I really do hope you guys see what I was saying about how the foundation really just does look like skin. Like, it's not a very cakey foundation, and this may be a bit trippy if you're looking for super high coverage. If you've got very blemished skin or very visible pimples, then this foundation may not be your best option, because you really are going to have to cake on the layers to get that super high coverage that you need. So it may be wiser just to go for a higher coverage foundation than to spend your coins on this foundation and try to work with building it up to like many layers. But if you don't have really blemished skin and you're going for more of a daytime, day at the office, breathable, flawless skin, but not super heavy makeup kind of look, then this foundation is definitely going to be the one for you, because it really just is so breathable and just makes your skin look flawless without looking like you put in too much effort or use too much product. So definitely all of the A pluses for the breathability of the skin and the elasticity of the foundation, which obviously again I think is granted to the foundation because it isn't so high coverage. And also, now moving to my oily skin kind of family, the foundation is a semi matte finish, so you guys can see that my skin still looks a little bit dewy, you know, in some areas, especially here around my cheek zone, whatever, basically next to my nose. It still does look a little bit dewy, and on my forehead as well. It doesn't look like a super dry down matte as it does on like maybe the rest of my face. So this speaks to the oilier skin sisters. If you have really oily skin, this foundation probably won't last 18 hours as it says it does on the packaging. I did wear the foundation last Sabbath and I wore it for about 10 hours or so, and I got really good wear out of the foundation. But then again, I have dry skin, so my dry skin is generally welcoming and accepting to many different kinds of foundation, because foundation does tend to stay stuck to my face because my skin is dry. So you really need to consider that. And if you're going to be doing vigorous exercise, trying to go to the gym, if you're going to be going to a party, a place with really bright lights, are just going to be really active for a very long time, the foundation is not going to stay on your face for 18 hours just because your activity and your work and your life is gonna force it to melt off your face. And also, it's not glued to your face because it's not a super matte finish. So if you're an oilier skin type, if you want to work with this foundation, you're going to need to use a super mattifying primer, you're going to need to use a lot of fixing spray and a good amount of powder to make sure that the foundation stays on your face. But if you are not trying to do all of that, it would probably just be wiser to go for a more mattifying foundation, like the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation kind of vibe, because that's gonna stay stuck on your face, and it's a really good foundation for oily skin. This one, I'd say I'm in the middle about whether it's good for oily skin or not, but then again, I don't have oily skin, so I may not be able to give you guys the perfect review about it, but that's just my personal opinion. In understanding how foundation and makeup works, I don't think this would be a great buy for oilier skin types, unless if you go the extra mile to make sure that it stays on your face. This is like a perfect foundation for me because I don't have really blemished skin, so it gives me a flawless looking base or flawless looking face without, you know, all that coverage that for me personally I don't need. And I really like how breathable and elastic the foundation is. It really does look good, and in me touching my face, it's reminded me that the foundation though isn't transfer proof, so be careful when you're giving hugs at church or hugging your friends, or just maybe being a little bit too touchy-feely with all this cake on the face, because it is going to come off your face, so be careful with that. And that also speaks to use more primer, use more fixing spray, use more powder, just to make sure that it stays on your face, because if you don't do that, it really is going to more easily come off because it's not transfer proof. It does transfer quite a bit, so just keep that in mind. So I'm actually debating whether I should finish like this makeup look and then give you guys like a final. I think this foundation is great, but I really think you guys need to see it with other products on, you know, so that you can see how, what I was saying with the undertones, that even though it's not 100% perfect match, it really has adjusted to my skin. So even though in the beginning it looked like it was going to look too orange or a little bit too yellow, I think you guys can see that overall, after having blended my whole face out, it really does match my skin a lot more. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of my complexion products so you guys can see what it looks like with the whole face done, so you can see that it really genuinely does look good on. So we're gonna go do that, and I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, so for what we all came here for, what is the tea on the Clarins Everlasting Foundation? I love the foundation. I already mentioned when I was actually putting the foundation on my face, and as you guys can see now that the whole face is put together, I really think that everything comes together very, very nicely, because the foundation itself just looks good on the skin. It looks like really just flawless skin. And I'm not going to repeat everything that I already said in the review part of the video, because we've said that already and we don't want to waste your time. But how much would I give the foundation out of 10? I would definitely give the foundation between an 8 and a 9 out of 10. 9 because for me, like I said, it's extremely breathable. It's perfect for what my situation is, which is just a little bit of uneven skin tone that I want to cover up. So that works perfectly, that I don't have to mix the foundation with anything else to make it a little less high coverage, you know. And the fact that I can build up the foundation coverage to what I need, provided, I guess, again, by my skin, because I don't have very blemished skin, that wouldn't be a lot of coverage. It works perfectly for me. And also the fact that it really isn't drying or mattifying or super matte on my skin, for me is a total plus. So again, I said the pitfalls, or rather the things to caution. If you have oily skin, this may be tricky for you, and if you have really blemished skin as well, you should take that into consideration, because this may not be the foundation for you. Just a side note, if you were wondering about my highlight, it's all just eyeshadow. Again, it's eyeshadow. Even the contour that I did, like the little bit of contour, I used the taupe notch palette that I got from Switch Beauty for that, and that tutorial is coming soon as well, so watch out for that. It's going to be on my channel pretty soon. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, I guess, got what you were looking for or concerned about the foundation. And overall, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I love you guys, and God ever stay blessing you.